Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott Selections here for Monday, December 14th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up losing the play of the day with San Francisco minus the 3.5 as they took on California. They were up 8 at the half, looked pretty good. Looked like we were potentially going to cruise to a win. And then the wheels fell off as California outscored them by 10 in the second half, one on a game-winning three-pointer. And anytime you have a slight favorite and they're up by 8 at the half, you got to like your chances, but unfortunately, it is a 40-minute game, and they only came out for the first 20. So picked up a loss there. Pretty unfortunate. Look to bounce back here on Monday. Now, quick announcement, this will be the first of two videos that's going to be happening tonight. We're going to be looking at college basketball for the first part, and then looking at the Monday Night Football game matchup between the Browns and the Ravens in the next video. So stay tuned for that if you want something a little bit more mainstream. Before today's play of the day in college basketball, we're going to be looking at a late-night matchup between Pepperdine and UNLV. And that game should be taking place at roughly 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this game, we like Pepperdine to get the job done on the road, -2 at -112 on DraftKings, time recording of 12:57 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like Pepperdine in the spot. First of all, Pepperdine's 3-3, UNLV is 1-4. However, UNLV's only victory came against Kansas State. So it really hasn't beaten anybody of note. It's been struggling a lot so far this season. They did test themselves a little bit in neutral court games against some various opponents, so some ranked, some not ranked, but they really kind of failed every test that they had because they ended up going 0 in that entire trip. Pepperdine, though, does have two of the best three players on the court in Colby Ross, who's averaging 20 points per game and 7.8 assists per game, and Kessler Edwards averaging 20.7 points per game and 6.8 rebounds per game. I think that those two should be a lot to handle for UNLV's defense, which has been a bit underwhelming so far this season, as UNLV is giving up 78 points per game. So I do think that Pepperdine has two of the best three players on the court. I think Edwards and Ross will be able to find openings in this defense, and they should help Pepperdine end up getting to the line a lot, as well as just to find a lot of easy buckets. Now, looking at Pepperdine in comparison so far statistically this season, Pepperdine is averaging roughly 14 more points per game and 6 more rebounds per game. And Pepperdine hasn't exactly had the easiest of schedules up to this point. They did beat California, the team that we talked about, and we faded yesterday. But California's defense has been pretty good this season. They also ended up losing a very close game to San Diego State on the road. They also lost a triple overtime game to UCLA, so they have been competitive against some upper competition, and I do think that will translate well into this spot. But Pepperdine is also shooting a lot better from the floor, as they're shooting roughly 6% better from the floor, and I simply think that Pepperdine has enough offensive weapons to give UNLV's offense some serious problems in terms of catching up, because UNLV's offense is only averaging 68.8 points per game. It's been offensively challenged all season long, and Pepperdine averaging over 82 points, I think, should be able to score more easily en route to a nice win here. But looking at some other variables, Pepperdine is also shooting roughly 17% from the foul line. Pepperdine's a top 3 free throw shooting team in the entire country, which is very important because UNLV ranks 286th in fouls per game. So UNLV fouls a lot. They don't really move their feet well. They kind of reach in a lot. And I do think Pepperdine will live at the line, which is very important because they are such a good free throw shooting team. Meanwhile, UNLV has only played one home game so far this season. I mentioned all the neutral site games, but the one home game they have played, they lost to Montana State by 13 points. They really haven't looked sharp so far at home. Meanwhile, Pepperdine only played one road game all season long, and they lost to a ranked San Diego State team by 5 points. They also led by double digits at the half. So they looked really good away from home before eventually crumbling. Seems to be a little bit of a trend here with Pepperdine. They're not great at closing out games, but I do think that they have enough offensive firepower to survive this test here with UNLV. You have seen this line move a little bit. Line open up at 1.5, currently up to 2, with decent amount of juice on the over. On the moving it to 2.5. Decent amount of juice on Pepperdine. I saw, for example, bet online at -120 on Pepperdine -2. You shop around, mostly available at 2, 2.5. I saw FanDuel at 2.5, and I do think this line will eventually climb to probably around 3 or so, or maybe even 3.5. So I do like the line currently at 2 at -112 on DraftKings, and for that reason, that will be the play that we're taking. So the play that once again, here in college basketball for Monday, December 14th, is going to be on Pepperdine -2 and -112 on DraftKings. Other than that, that's been Installment Scott Selections. Good luck to all of you and respective bets today. Bye, everyone.